Hello and welcome to another Business English Conversations lesson program, video lesson. As you noticed in the letter I sent you and the posting in the blog, the subject for today is leadership. What do they like and how do they act? I'm taking a lot of this material for today from some of the writings of a guy by the name of Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker was one of the 20th century gurus in management. I've also got some quotes I want to use of his. In fact, this program and the next three will revolve around leadership and a lot of the things that Drucker had to say. So first off, why don't we get a definition of what a leader is? I'm going to read you the exact definition that I found in the dictionary. Leadership, a process of social influence in which one person can enlist the aid and support of others in the accomplishment of a common task. Sounds pretty simple. I've got a simpler definition that I'll give you a couple lessons later. So what is it that makes leaders so special? Well, first off, leaders ask some key questions. They ask, what do I want to do? Then they also ask, what needs to be done? Leaders ask, of those things that would make a difference, which ones are right for me? That's a leader. Let me give you a quote here from Mr. Drucker. Peter Drucker says, effective leadership is not about making speeches or being liked. Leadership is defined by results, not attributes. Interesting. So what else is it about a leader? Well, leaders don't take on things that they're not good at. Leaders delegate. Leaders ensure that the necessities are done, but not necessarily by them. Good leaders are not afraid of the strength of other people. That's why they delegate. Another quote here from Mr. Drucker. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Interesting. Leaders make sure that they succeed. Now, obviously, I would submit to you that if you're following a good and strong leader, not only will he or she succeed, but you will succeed as well. Leaders ask, what do I hope to achieve if I take on this assignment? What am I going to achieve? Leaders do something else that's very important. They check their performance. In other words, they have feedback systems, reports, whatever you want to call it, that check their performance and how they are progressing. Leaders are good at picking the important things to do. Another quote here from Mr. Drucker. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. Key point. Leaders are mission driven. They have a mission and they're driven on that mission, towards the completion of that mission. Final quote for today. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. Leaders communicate in a way that people around them know what they're trying to do. Leaders know how to say no. Leaders focus on the priorities, the right things. Leaders know when to stop pouring resources into things that have already achieved their purposes. Don't add extra resources. And leaders say, don't tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you've stopped doing. Now that's kind of a capsulized version of a portion of a interview with Mr. Drucker several years ago. But there's some key things in there that I think all of us should be aware of. Now, you notice I just talked about leaders. I didn't say much about a good leader and a bad leader. Leaders have a social influence over us. They work towards the priorities. Key point here, in my mind, is what are their priorities? Do I want to follow them because of what their priorities are? Do their priorities fit mine? So, that kind of wraps it up for today. In a few days, I'll send you the second version of some of this stuff from Mr. Drucker and a few more ideas. I hope this has been helpful in giving you some thoughts about leadership. We got some more detailed information coming in the future. And of course, I hope it's been very helpful in your learning process in terms of business English. Please feel free to listen to this thing as many times as is appropriate, so you can get the hang of the terminology and the words and some of the idioms that I use. So until next time, this is George Hoge signing off for Business English Conversation.